How's it going, everybody? Too Spooky here, and welcome back to the week of 50s. And if you don't know what the week of 50s is, we recently hit 50,000 subscribers, and because of that we are celebrating by putting out a 50 facts video every single day for a whole week. Today is day number 2, and today we're going to be counting down 50 facts about Nirvana. This video was suggested by BroKick16 and ACL West. Thank you both so much for suggesting this video. Nirvana is actually one of my favorite bands, so I was very excited to see it suggested. And real quick before we jump into the video, I would just like to give a little disclaimer. So this video will be focusing only on Nirvana. And what I mean by that is we will not be focusing on Kurt Cobain himself like a lot of videos about Nirvana do, but rather Kurt Cobain in Nirvana and everything else to do with Nirvana instead of only focusing on the frontman. But with that in mind, grab your guitar or other musical instrument, and let's get into some facts. Number 1. Before they were known as Nirvana, Kurt Cobain went through many different band names before picking that one. These band names included Fecal Matter, Bliss, Pen Cap Chew, Ted Ed Fred, and Skid Row. Number 2. Kurt and Chris have always been members of Nirvana. However, there were 4 drummers in Nirvana before Dave Grohl joined. These drummers were Aaron Burkhart, Dale Crover, Dave Foster, and Chad Channing. Number 3. Jason Everman joined Nirvana to be a second guitarist, and he even financed Nirvana's first album Bleach for a total of $606.17. He paid for it because he was the only member of the band at the time with a real job, and even after financing this album, it turns out he didn't even get to play on it, though he did get a thank you in the booklet. Jason was later fired from Nirvana after Kurt had a bad tour with him. Number 4. Kurt Cobain first met bassist Chris Novoselic in high school, though they didn't become friends until they regularly found each other at the Melvins practice area. Kurt wanted to start a band with Chris, so he gave him the demo for his band, Fecal Matter. It took 3 years after they met for Chris to listen to the demo and agree to form a band. Number 5. Earlier, we stated that there were only 4 previous drummers before Dave Grohl. Well, technically there were 5, but only if you count Dan Peters, who was the Mudhoney's drummer. He recorded 1 song with Nirvana, which was Sliver, though this was the only time he ever played with Nirvana, so I don't know if he really counts as an official member or not. Let me know what you guys think. Number 6. It wasn't until September of 1990 that Kurt and Chris were introduced to Dave Grohl. They were introduced to him by the Melvins' Buzz Osborne. Chris later said in reference to Grohl's audition that he knew in 2 minutes that he was the right drummer. Number 7. During Nirvana's last tour, a second guitarist by the name of Pat Smear joined the band so Kurt could focus more on singing and less on lead guitar. Smear performed on MTV's Unplugged with the band, and Pat is now a member of the Foo Fighters with Dave Grohl. Number 8. In 1988, Nirvana made a deal with Seattle indie label Sub Pop to release their first single, Love Buzz, which was a cover of a song by a Dutch band called Shocking Blue, and Nirvana's song Big Cheese as a 7-inch single. Number 9. Nirvana's first full-length album, Bleach, was then released on June 15th of 1989 by Sub Pop. It sold just 40,000 copies by the time Nirvana put out their second album, Nevermind. Although later Bleach eventually became Sub Pop's all-time bestseller, selling way more than 1 million copies since its release. Number 10. During the song, Drain You, the band used a rubber duck, chains, and an aerosol can instead of guitars for the bridge. Number 11. The song Been a Son is a semi-autobiographical account of a father who wanted a son instead of a daughter. Kurt claimed his father never wanted to have Kurt's sister, or at the very least, wanted her to be a boy. Number 12. Once Nirvana was rather popular, they started reserving recording studio time under a different name to avoid being disturbed or disrupted. This name was Simon Ritchie's Bluegrass Ensemble. Number 13. On the other side of Been a Son, the song Even in His Youth explores Kurt's need for acceptance from his father, and his anger about the fact that sometimes he didn't feel good enough for his dad in the slightest. And that's what Even in His Youth is about. Number 14. On a Plane is a song about writing a song. Kurt Cobain explores the many different elements of songwriting in this song, including suffering from writer's block and trying to find his voice. In the end, he settles on simplicity, saying that he's on a plane and that he can't complain. Number 15. Nirvana Unplugged in New York has been certified platinum 5 times, selling well over 5 million copies. Number 16. Nirvana has sold over 75 million records worldwide, making them one of the top and best-selling bands of all time. Kurt even broke the record of being the best-selling dead musician over Elvis Presley. Elvis later took back the title only to lose it again to Michael Jackson. Number 17. Bleach was originally going to be called Too Many Humans, though it was later changed to Bleach, after Cobain found an AIDS prevention poster aimed at the heroin addicts with the slogan, Bleacher Works. Number 18. Just like Bleach originally had a different name, so did Nevermind. Before it was called Nevermind, it was originally called Sheep, and it featured artwork of rows of identical houses lined up. Number 19. Yet again, In Utero was originally going to be named I Hate Myself and I Want to Die. However, Chris told Kurt he thought it opened up too many potential lawsuits, so they ended up changing the name to In Utero. Number 20. Very Ape is a song about your stereotypical macho douchebag at live concerts who roughs people up and purposely tries to ruin the show for others. Number 21. The song About a Girl got the name from a conversation with former drummer Chad Channing and Kurt. Chad asked Kurt what the song was about, to which Kurt replied, About a Girl. So Chad suggested he name the song that, About a Girl. The girl it's about was Cobain's girlfriend Tracy Marinder, who asked why he wrote about everything except for her. Tracy didn't even realize the song was about her until she read the official biography of the band. Number 22. Negative Creep is about an individual who always looks down on things. Kurt even said in regards to the song, I just always saw myself as a negative person, so I wrote a song about it. Number 23. Nevermind has sold over 30 million copies worldwide. Number 24. On April 10th of 2014, Nirvana was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Number 25. Kurt was offered the role of the drug dealer in Pulp Fiction by Quentin Tarantino, though Kurt turned it down.
Wait, too spooky. I thought you said that this list was supposed to be about Nirvana. This fact focuses only on Kurt, you fucking hypocrite.
Bane, I wasn't finished, man, alright? This does have something to do with Nirvana.
Oh, I'm sorry. Please continue.
Well, sorry about that interruption. The reason this fact applies to Nirvana is because Kurt added a thank you to Quentin Tarantino for the offer in the In Utero liner notes. Number 26. Kurt Cobain wrote the song School about how he saw the grunge scene in Washington like the cliques at school. Number 27. The first formal review of Nirvana was rather negative and stated that they sounded like Leonard Skinner without any flair. Number 28. Kurt wrote Scoff about all those negative people who tell you that you'll never amount to anything in life.
Well, I guess you could say they were very wrong considering how famous he is now.
Number 29. Kurt is said to have written the song Aero Zeppelin as a tribute to Led Zeppelin and Aerosmith. It was recorded in 1988, although it wasn't released until 1992 on the Incesticide compilation album. Number 30. The song Swap Meat is about the mutual attraction between males and females, and how each sex goes about different ways of attracting the opposite sex. Number 31. The song Mexican Seafood is about yeast infections and food poisoning. Number 32. Kurt Cobain wrote the song Polly in 1987 after reading an article about the torture and rape of a 14-year-old girl. Number 33. There's a Nirvana tribute sign in Aberdeen, Washington. It reads, "Welcome to Aberdeen. Come as you are." It was paid for and created by a non-profit organization, the Kurt Cobain Memorial Committee. Number 34. Scentless Apprentice and Smells Like Teen Spirit are the only two songs that Kurt, Chris, and Dave are credited as writing together, while almost all of the rest are solely credited to Kurt. Number 35. The idea for Nevermind's album artwork was inspired by a water-birth television documentary Kurt watched at one point in time. The band came across the photo they wanted to use, but the stock house wanted $7,500 per year for use, so the band took their own shot instead. Number 36. The members of Nirvana got kicked out of the official Nevermind release party for starting a food fight. Number 37. Cobain wrote Something in the Way about his life. Kurt wrote about living under a bridge, which he claimed happened when he got kicked out of his house and had to live under a nearby bridge. He expresses his feelings and emotions by saying he was something in the way and he thought everything was in the way every time he tried to feel better. Number 38. The song Radio Friendly Shapeshifter has no specific meaning or inspiration at all. In fact, Kurt called it a throwaway song with nothing more than a bunch of unused poetry lines. The song's original name was going to be 4-Month Media Blackout, which was a nod to Smells Like Teen Spirit taking over the mainstream charts. Number 39. The two original names for You Know You're Right were Autopilot and On a Mountain, which on top of that, You Know You're Right was also the last song Nirvana recorded as a group. Number 40. The original idea for the music video for Lithium was going to be an animated story about a girl named Prego who discovered some eggs that hatch. Unfortunately, they discovered too late that the animation would take 4 months to produce and decided to just use footage from a couple of live performances instead. Number 41. Cobain usually wrote lyrics for songs minutes before recording them. Cobain went on to say, "When I write a song, the lyrics are the least important subject. I can go through 2 or 3 different subjects in a song and the title can mean absolutely nothing at all." Number 42. Paper Cuts is based partly on a family who kept their kids locked up in the attic of their house. Just like how Polly was written about in an article he read, Kurt wrote this song after reading the story on the news. Number 43. Marigold is the only song written and recorded by Dave Grohl, but released as Nirvana. Chris contributed a little bit to the bass of the song, but it was otherwise solely done by Dave. Marigold didn't make the cut for the original lineup of In Utero, but it was later released as a B-side. Number 44. Heart-Shaped Box was originally titled Heart-Shaped Coffin. The lyrics are inspired by an actual heart-shaped box sent to Kurt by Courtney Love during the beginnings of their relationship. However, the initial lyrics read that the narrator was buried in the box instead of locked, while the title was Heart-Shaped Coffin. Number 45. The song Dive is about being bullied in a love-related way like two children when they like each other. Number 46. In 1992 at the MTV Music Video Awards, they instructed Nirvana not to play their new song Rape Me, but instead play Lithium for a number of different reasons. Kurt played the first few chords of Rape Me before transitioning into Lithium to give them a small heart attack instead. Number 47. Stay Away was originally titled Pay to Play, and it was about annoyance, lack of popularity, and predictability in people. Number 48. Hairspray Queen is about the 1970s and the styles of fashion for that time period, such as big hair and disco. Number 49. The song Floyd the Barber is actually a pretty dark one. It is about a small American town where everyone has become a mass murderer. A man goes into the barbershop for a simple haircut, and he ends up getting a hot towel put over his face, tied to a chair, is forced to suck Floyd's genitals, and is cut up and slashed to death by the other people he later sensed in the room. And the moment that you have all been waiting for. Number 50. The song Moist Vagina wasn't even the original name of the song. The original title was Moist Vagina, and then she blew him like he's never been blown. Brains stuck all over the wall. This song was later left off the album for fear that there was already enough controversy over the album with the song Rape Me. The song Moist Vagina itself is not about women or sexuality, but instead about drugs, specifically marijuana. Kurt Cobain said that this song explains how marijuana is the only partner he needs to eat. But there you have it, everybody, 50 facts about Nirvana. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video today. If you did, make sure to leave a like. But that's not all. If you leave a like on this video, there is a 5% chance that you will receive one of Kurt Cobain's guitars. That's correct, you could get one of Kurt Cobain's guitars that he used while he was in Nirvana. If you are one of the lucky few who will receive this guitar, it should show up on your doorstep in about, I'd say 3 weeks maybe. Just be sure to check outside every single day. Also, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. There will be plenty more music-related facts in the future. I used to do them quite a bit, but I guess it's just gotten away from me in recent months. But we are going to bring them back. On top of that, there is also plenty of other content on this channel, and if you subscribe, you can be notified about future releases. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the week of 50 so far. Again, today is day 2, so we still have 5 days left to go.
Also, make sure to like and follow Too Spooky on his social media for updates about the channel and upcoming videos.
Bane, what would I do without you? I always forget to tell people to follow my social media. But anyways, guys, on that note, if you cannot get enough Too Spooky content, well, why don't you click here for 50 facts about the band Brand New. And if that's just not doing it for you, why don't you click here for 50 facts about Fullmetal Alchemist, which was actually the previous video in the week of 50s. Anyways, guys, I hope you're enjoying it so far. We've still got 5 videos left to go, and I think you guys are gonna enjoy the ride. But as always, guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.